Okay, then let's get started at. I'm
Yeah,
really curious about your stage name,
yeah, yeah,
Hilang Child. Hilang is Indonesian. It's bahasa.
yeah,
What's the
yeah.
meaning behind Hilang Child?
Yeah, like I'm like Hilang. So what would the I basically when I first started writing music,
Mm.
I had I was already working as a drummer, as a, in music, and I hadn't, I had a lot of friends who were very talented musicians, but none of them had heard me sing before. They all thought I was just a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I first started writing my own music, I'm releasing it, I was so nervous of my friends hearing my songs and hearing my voice that I basically didn't want people to know that it was me singing the songs. So I wanted to make up a stage name so that I could release the songs online and my friends wouldn't know that it was me singing, basically. Um, and so when I came up with the name, I thought the only thing I really thought was like, well, maybe I can make use of the fact that I'm half Indonesian and half British. So I'll have like, yeah, an Indonesian word and a British word that kind of work together. So I thought, well, hilang, lost, child. Yeah, it sort of sounded a bit mysterious and a bit strange, like lost child, hilang child, anak hilang. But yeah, that was that was the only real story about it behind it, really. Um, but yeah, and it's just stuck. And then now obviously people know I'm a singer and people know my face as a singer, but I just still kept the name.
But that's strange. You don't want to be recognized. You don't want to be noticed. That's why hilang or lost. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. That was part of it for sure. Yeah, not yeah, definitely.
But have you been in Bandung at?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I have some family in Bandung.
Oh, I
Um,
see.
yeah, yeah. So um, yeah, like well, actually, I think yeah, the last time I was there, I came for a few days in 2018. But yeah, every couple of years, I try and visit. Um,
Okay,
yeah, it's great. I love it.
that's been a while.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
a while.
Yeah, it is a
Okay,
while. I mean, I hope that as soon as everything's over, I'm hoping to come back and visit family as soon as possible. So maybe I'll be back.
okay, we'll welcome you here, of
Yeah.
course.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
Indonesia. And Ed, tell me about your music. I mean, tell me how would you like to define your type of music, your
Oh,
genre?
okay. Um, it's quite difficult because I find it hard to. I don't feel like I'm influenced by a specific genre. So when people ask me that, I almost don't know what to say because um yeah, like I've never tried to fit in a certain genre. I think maybe the one that what a lot of the time when I read reviews, people call it like dream pop. So I suppose that
Yeah.
like dream pop is kind of I guess it kind of makes sense when you think of the other bands that get um that get defined as dream pop bands. So I guess dream pop is like my favorite one that other people have described. But for me, I try not to fit into a certain genre or yeah, try and pigeonhole myself.
But is this type of music is the one that you like? I mean, this kind of dreamy ambience. Some
Yeah, I
people call
do. I
it
definitely do.
shoegaze.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely do. Yeah. I've done, and yeah, I mean, I've toured in a band called Lost Horizons, which was the band which was yeah, it's the kind of the new band of Simon Raymond, who was in the Cocteau Twins, who are obviously a very famous shoegaze and dream pop band, and yeah, I guess it is a genre that I associate with. Um, yeah, in terms of like stuff I enjoy and stuff I've been involved with. So yeah, yeah, I don't mind that one. I don't mind shoegaze or dream pop.
Okay, I get it. But you said that you don't want to be influenced by a specific genre. But do you get influenced by some specific artists? Who's your influences?
So it's funny. I think that it's as someone who writes music, you kind of end up absorbing and being influenced by pretty much everything that you listen to.
Hmm.
So again, I've not, while I don't think there's any specific artist that I've listened to and I've thought, okay, I'm gonna be a musician like that. I think you naturally take in things from like everything you hear. So I guess at the time that I was writing this new album, what was I listening to? I was listening to a lot of I was actually listening to a lot of Ryuichi Sakamoto, the Japanese composer.
Yep,
I was listening to a lot of Kendrick Lamar as well. So I don't think that's really come across on the album very much. But but yeah, like I guess some of the beats that I was some of the beats on the album were maybe influenced from Kendrick's album To Pimp a Butterfly. Um, I What else was I listening to at the time? I guess there was I was at the time I was actually living with some guys who played in a band called Jarbird, who I thought were amazing. They're not a very well known band, but they were an
mm-hmm.
amazing band, and they were definitely, I'd say they were, the stuff that I've heard from them was definitely a big influence. Um, and then also what else? A band called Hundred Waters, actually, American band. I don't know if you know them, but I was really I was listening to a lot of them when I was writing this album. So yeah, I guess those are a few that you know that maybe kind of some of what I heard from them has maybe turned up in my own music. So yeah,
That's a lot of influences
so I guess it
actually.
is quite a lot. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I watch your YouTube channel and I'm really surprised how you cover Bjork's song.
Oh
That's
yeah.
amazing, man.
Oh yeah, I love Bjork. She's one of my favorite artists of all time. She's amazing.
Yep. And now
Yeah,
let's talk about your latest works, your latest
yeah.
album, Every Time Move. Congratulations before.
Thank
And
you.
tell me more about that.
So this album was written. It was written like just before the pandemic started. The pandemic hit.
Mm,
So I finished writing it and recording all the main parts. And then the obviously the pandemic hit, and so we had to finish the album remotely. So me and Jamie, who was the my producer, we were basically sending the mixes to each other over the internet, and sort of tweaking and doing it that way. The album is it's about uh, yeah, kind of learning to appreciate the good things in your life and learning to appreciate the things around you and stop comparing yourself to other people and just yeah, kind of like learning to notice when you're going into spirals of anxiety and you know trying to work on bringing yourself out of that and making yourself yeah, just be able to relax and feel a bit more zen and not worry about things that you don't need to worry about.
and you stated that Anthropic is the song reflects this album best. What are you
Yeah.
trying to deliver?
Yeah, so I mean that Anthropic, that song, firstly, I mean, in terms of the sound of it, I wanted it to be a really kind of I wanted it to sound very triumphant and very sort of euphoric and upbeat. And lyrically, you know, that song is literally I mean, I wrote it as if it was a note myself saying look, you know, just you've got so many great things in your life that you just need to appreciate and stop worrying about the things that are bringing you down because there's more good than bad in your life. And that was the message that I was trying to get across to myself in Anthropic. And so on in a wider sense, that's kind of what I want the whole album to be kind of stating, you know, saying that while you know it's easy to compare yourself to others and let yourself kind of feel down about those things, but in reality it's kind of pointless to do that because you can find the good stuff, you can find good in your own life so easily. You just have to make sure you're looking for it. um so yeah, I basically that song is like a positive hope for a kind of a more content future, and so as an extension of that is what I want the whole album to kind of come across as.
Okay, I get it. But you were saying that you mentioned something about what others say, and I kind of get this point. I don't know that you are enjoying this album better than your debut album because you were really struggling on your debut album, and you really mind what others will will think about your album.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely, I mean, the first album was so much was just me on my own writing. You know, I wrote and recorded most instruments and didn't really didn't really have much, you know, much kind of collaboration with anyone else on that album. And so with that, it was like a lonely process. And then also because it was going to be my first ever album, I was just really worried about. about what people would think about it. So I spent so much of the time writing was just me on my own thinking, I hope people like this. I hope people like it. So for this second album, yeah, I wanted it to be more collaborative and have more, like a lot more people involved with it, and then also just make sure that I enjoyed the process of writing the album more. Make sure that I enjoyed that more than anything else, because that's the whole reason you kind of get
Yeah.
into music in the first place, is because you love doing it. So yeah, that was, I just wanted to make sure above anything else that I didn't worry about what people might think when it came out, and just enjoyed the process of actually making it. And so I think it was successful in that sense, because I really loved making this album. I really did.
Yep. You did a really great job, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
Congratulations. Okay, next question, and maybe that is the last one.
Okay.
What is for Ed Riman on 2021?
2021. So I mean, hopefully, fingers crossed, if the lockdown is eased by later this year, I'll be going on tour in October, just around the UK, but hopefully we'll be able to book more, maybe abroad, eventually, depending on how the pandemic plays out. And then I also can't talk too much about it, but I have a collaboration in the works with two Indonesian artists. So I
Oh,
can't say any more about that yet properly, but I'll be able to talk about it soon. But that's something
okay.
that we're working on at the moment as well.
I'll wait for that. I really am can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. No, same. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thanks, Ed. Thank you
No,
for
thank
having me.
you. Thank
It's a
you for having
pleasure to
me.
talk to you, and fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, exactly. No, thank you. Sampai nanti.